Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Rangnicks Man Utd Masterplan. Amadou Haidara, Calvin Phillips and Jude Bellingham are key targets. Yesterday, RB Leipzig chef Oliver Mintzlaff did admit that Ralph Rangnick loves Amadou Haidara. Rangnick wants Haidara as his first signing as Manchester United manager. Amadou Haidara has a £33 million release clause. Rangnick knows the player well because Rangnick used to manage RB Leipzig. Ralph Rangnick told Manchester United bosses that their midfield is weak in his interview for the job. John McGinn, he's also been mentioned. Revert back to the other week, the Manchester Evening News said that Rangnick wants a Timo Werner reunion at Man United. Rangnick has been given a £100 million transfer budget for January. Ralph Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then after that, it did mention that Rangnick will take a consultancy role for a further 2 years. If Rangnick does a good job as the interim manager, there's a chance he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. The game against Norwich tomorrow is Ralph Rangnick's first Premier League away game as Manchester United manager. So far, he's managed 2 games in all competitions. He's won 1 and he's drawn 1. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. I can assure that Manchester United will get a permanent manager at the end of the season. There's been quite a few names linked with a permanent role at Man United. Erik Ten Hag has been mentioned. Edwin van der Sar recently spoke about Man United's interest in Erik Ten Hag. And Edwin van der Sar believes Ajax may lose Erik Ten Hag in the summer. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Erik Ten Hag is said to be interested in the Man United job in the summer, and it said Ajax will not stand in his way if he wants to leave. Van der Sar expects a future role at Manchester United. I'd love to see Edwin van der Sar come back to the club. He is the former Manchester United goalkeeper. Van der Sar endured 6 years as a goalkeeper for Man United, and in his 6 years he won 4 Premier League titles. He won the League Cup, he won the Community Shield, and he won the Champions League. Edwin van der Sar is now a CEO at Ajax. He's worked as a CEO at Ajax since 2016. Roberto Mancini, revert back to the other week, he was mentioned. It said Manchester United consider hiring Roberto Mancini instead of Mauricio Pochettino. but recently Mancini denied becoming Manchester United's next permanent manager. Mancini is in charge of Italy. He's been in charge of Italy since 2018. He's got a contract with Italy until 2026. Revert back to last summer, Roberto Mancini won the European Championship with Italy. Around a decade ago, Roberto Mancini managed Man City, and when he was the manager of Man City, he won the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Community Shield. Pochettino, he's been mentioned a lot. Revert back to earlier on in the season, Pochettino said quite a few times that he's happy at PSG, and he did mention that he won't let the Man United rumours distract him. Revert back to earlier on in the season, PSG rejected Manchester United's approach to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. But reports were circulating out saying that Pochettino is interested in the Man United job, and the Manchester Evening News came out and said that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as the next manager. And it said Manchester United agreed to pay the 10 million compensation fee for Pochettino. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Pochettino is a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything. I think he has won a French Cup with PSG. He's managed in the Premier League before, which is beneficial because, you know, Pochettino did endure 5.5 years at Tottenham before he endured a short tenure at Southampton. So there you go. I still believe that Pochettino is one of the favourites to become Manchester United's next permanent manager. Brendan Rodgers was mentioned as well, but I initially disregarded Rodgers because revert back to earlier on this season, it said Brendan Rodgers dismissed links to the Man United job. And he said, you know, I'm proud to be at Leicester. But at one point, he said Brendan Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire, and that did stir some suggestions up. And at that point, it said Brendan Rodgers was the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. You know, Manchester United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Man United finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. Then Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. The 3 trophies he won was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. But the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, because the board weren't getting the players that Mourinho wanted to recommend in. And Mourinho had bad disputes with the top players. And over 2 weeks ago now, Manchester United sacked Solskjaer following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. When Solskjaer got officially sacked, he gave a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which of course was understandable because Solskjaer adores the club. And he was part of the club for a long time. Solskjaer was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years, and Solskjaer did endure 11 years as a player for Man United, so reflecting on that, that's almost 14 years. Despite Solskjaer getting sacked over 2 weeks ago, all United fans still adore him, reflecting on what he did for the club. And there's still United fans that are chanting his name. I don't think Manchester United really wanted to sack him, but there was left with no choice but to sack him in the end. Because revert back to the last few months of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure, the performances were very, very bad, and the results were also very bad as well. It was obvious that the players were not playing for Solskjaer. And reflecting on the poor performances under Solskjaer, not all of the blame stemmed from Solskjaer. Some blame stemmed from Solskjaer because his tactics and his team selections were questioned a lot. But there was also players that had to take responsibility for those poor performances as well. Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager. The clubs he's managed so far in his managerial career, of course he managed Man United's reserve team for a couple of years. Then he managed Cardiff. He enjoyed a short tenure at Cardiff. He got sacked from Cardiff because he got them relegated. Solskjaer enjoyed 2 spells at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles and that with them. And of course he managed Manchester United's senior squad. Solskjaer had a proven pedigree when he was a United player, because he won a lot of trophies when he was a Man United player. He did enjoy 11 years as a player for Man United, and his most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final at the Nou Camp back in 1999. Solskjaer won the club the treble, and that is the club's greatest achievement. Manchester United, by the way, paid Solskjaer around $7.5 million to sack him, because revert back to last summer, Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract with an option of a further year. Manchester United should have never give Solskjaer that contract, because we knew for a long time that he wasn't the long-term manager for Man United. Solskjaer did get appointed in as the interim manager in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. Solskjaer was the interim manager in his first 3 months, and he did well as the interim manager, so the club decided to give him the job on a permanent basis back in March 2019. When Solskjaer was United manager, this season was his 3rd full season as Man United manager. And I did say, that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer. Obviously, the pressure was on him at the start of this season as well, because revert back to last summer, Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window. Manchester United made 4 signings. 3 of the 4 signings were major signings, and we spent around £141 million. And revert back to last summer as well, Solskjaer, when he was United manager, he received very strong backing from the board. The Glazers backed him, Ed Woodward backed him. Woodward's leaving Manchester United at the end of the year. Revert back to April, it got announced that Woodward will be leaving. That's when that European Super League came into the equation. But there again, earlier on this season, it said Woodward was in talks to stay at Man United under a new role. Woodward's had a 16-year association with the football club. John Murtaugh, our director of football, backed Solskjaer last summer, and also Darren Fletcher backed him. Solskjaer did not win a trophy as Manchester United manager, and I said he wasn't capable of winning trophies as manager. You know, Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. The expectations were far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager, and he basically was in a position that he should have never been in. Because all he knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. You know, there was some positive to take, you know, from when Solskjaer was Man United manager. You know, I like the way he developed the youth as manager. He also made good signings when he was Manchester United manager. Solskjaer signed around 14 players. So in the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he recommended Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in on loan. Then in the summer of 2020, he recommended Edison Cavani in, Donny van der Beek, Alex Telles, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And in this year's summer transfer window, he brought Heaton in, Sancho, Varane and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Man United spent over £400 million under Solskjaer. Solskjaer also offloaded a lot of players when he was United manager. You know, he loaned players out and he got rid of players permanently. The players he loaned out last summer when he was United manager, he loaned Brandon Williams out, he loaned Ethan Laird out, Axel Tuanzebe, Andres Pereira, Tahith Chon and Facundo Pellistri. The players he got rid of permanently, of course he released Sergio Romero and Joe Pereira. He also offloaded Ighalo, Fosu-Mensah and Rojo. He also offloaded Borthwick Jackson and Timothy Fosu-Mensah and James Wilson. He also offloaded players like Ashley Young, Valencia, Smalling, Darmian. He also offloaded Fellaini back in January 2019. He offloaded Ander Herrera, Angel Gomez, Lukaku and Sanchez. And he also offloaded Daniel James last summer. He was the only player Man United sold last summer. And some progress was made when Solskjaer was United manager, because revert back to his first full season, he got Manchester United to 3 semi-finals. And obviously got a third place finish in his first full season. Revert back to his second full season. You know, Solskjaer got us to the Carabao Cup semi-final. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. And he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final when he was Man United manager, but unfortunately he didn't win it. So there you go, and last season got us a second place finish, and when Manchester United had Solskjaer, Man United went 29 games unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. You know, so they are the positives you can take. But Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. And obviously a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. You know, Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So that just tells you that it does take some managers time to settle in. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a very long-serving manager. The greatest manager of all time, definitely. But no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did, and in that aspect, Manchester United have got to accept that. I just want to see Man United being consistent again. I don't expect us to be, you know, the team who was under Ferguson. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.